Well, a very good morning. My name is Elijah Tudiagmanawa, and I do welcome you to this segment of the first show. We're going to be talking business and casting an eye on matters influencing business in the country and the economy in general. Today in studio, I have a guest from the Insurance Regulatory Authority, IRA, that is going to be talking insurance and matters of insurance. How are Ugandans appreciating insurance? But also, what is insurance? How does it impact your business, your daily life, and whatever it is that you're engaged into on a daily? Mr. Stephen Kadumukasa is a Senior Inspection Officer at the Insurance Regulatory Authority, Uganda. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Elijah. And I want to thank management for having given us a chance to come and share some insurance information with you.
Absolutely. Let's start with demystifying IRA. What is Insurance Regulatory Authority? What does it stand for? And what are your obligations?
Okay. First of all, the Insurance Regulatory Authority is a government agency. I think you've heard of several government agencies. And it was put in place by an Act of Parliament. And initially started as an insurance commission, but in 2011 we had an amendment of the Act, and it upgraded it to a regulatory kind of agency. And since then we have been given mandate to regulate, supervise, and monitor insurance companies. That's been one of the core activities that IRA does. Then we are also engaged in helping government look at the different assets that can be insured. Then we are also involved in helping the public actually know, sensitizing the public, like we are here, sensitizing the public what is best for one to take up insurance. So there are quite a number of functions that we do. But majorly, it's to regulate and monitor the insurance activity or business in Uganda.
Absolutely. Those are many years down the road since your establishment.
Yes.
What are the different achievements or milestones that you think the Insurance Regulatory Authority has made that cannot skip our eye? But also, looking at insurance in Uganda and its acceptability, do you think Ugandans have accepted insurance as part of their lives?
Thank you very much, Elijah. First of all, insurance has always had a bad image, whereby most people thought, because of its history, you know that we had in the early years, inflation was quite high, people paid in their policies and they were getting very little. So at the end of the day, people had the negative perspective, a negative kind of mind that insurance doesn't pay. But as you mentioned, as IRA, we have worked very hard to see that we change that mentality, because when you look at the figures, because figures don't lie,
So
they will always they never lie. They always give you a very good picture of actually what is happening. And for the past 10 years, we've seen a trend in rise of the premiums that we underwrite, or the premiums that insurance companies do underwrite. So this one clearly indicates that Ugandans have actually now accepted and they have appreciated that insurance is part and parcel of their of their life. So with those with the increasing trend in premiums that are being underwritten, we believe that it shows that the public is well aware that insurance is good, and they are taking up the policies.
There are quite a number of types of insurance and categories of insurance. From my financial classes, I know there is marine insurance, there's fire insurance, life insurance. Which one is the most trafficked insurance, type of insurance in Uganda today as we speak?
Basically, as you mentioned, there are quite a number of insurance covers, because there are quite a number of risks out there.
Very true.
We have life covers, we have in insurance we have what we call general insurance. This one covers what you mentioned: the fire, the marine, the motor vehicle, which has a comprehensive, and the third party. Then we have the burglary, we have all risks. Then we also have the other part of the life bit of it, whereby you need to, you as I see you're a young man, you need to insure your life.
Very
So as insurance, we have both general and life. But majorly, we've seen the population taking up most of the vehicle insurance covers, which is the motor, which is third party, because third party is compulsory. Then also the comprehensive. So being that most of the people, as incomes increase, they will usually want to get a vehicle. And when you're to have a vehicle on the road, you have to have what? Insurance. So we see that most people consume third party.
Whereas it is like that, like stated the way you just said, that for every person to have a vehicle on the road must have insurance. Not all of them actually do have.
Yes,
insurance.
Certainly most of, actually that is a very, very good question, because we have taken note that people drive without insurance because quite a number of accidents happen on the road, and at the end of the day, when you inquire, this vehicle that has been involved in an accident, you find that it has no insurance. So you wonder, how has it been running on the road? Because the third party is kind of a mandatory kind of cover, that each vehicle that should be on the road should have a third party insurance, because this is the kind of insurance that looks at the other person using the road. Assuming you're driving your car and you get involved in an accident or you knock a person.
As Insurance Regulatory Authority, how far do you go in enforcing these regulations or these laws, or how do you work with law enforcers to make sure that each car that is on the road is actually insured, at least has third party? Very
good. As an entity, as IRA, we are working with the Uganda police, because these are the enforcers. And the challenge we've always had is that we've had fake stickers on the run, whereby it has been quite difficult to determine what is genuine, what is fake. And using an eye could be very difficult for one to detect that this is a fake sticker. So we are working with the Uganda Revenue Authority currently, and actually we've come up with a new platform whereby it is very easy for a policeman now to tell that, by using a phone, that this is a genuine sticker and this is a fake sticker. We hope with this new kind of system that we are working with Uganda Revenue Authority, because remember, Uganda Revenue Authority registers all the vehicles, and now want to purchase a third party, you need to use their system. You need to go into their system and pick the details from their system. So it enables the policeman to use his or her phone to detect that this is either genuine, and we believe that going forward, this is going to help, and most of the cars here will be insured. Stephen,
what's the difference between comprehensive insurance and third-party motor vehicle insurance?
Third party, as I earlier mentioned, is a mandatory kind of cover that was what was put in place by an act of parliament, that each vehicle or each motorcycle that runs on the road should possess an insurance cover, and that insurance cover is a third party. It really caters for the other person using the road. We have three parties. Actually, we have the first party, who is the owner. We have the second party. This is the insurance company that takes over the risk. Then we have the third party. This is the other person using the road. So in the early days, the government noted that cars knocked people, cars got involved in accidents, but people were injured, or people were dying, but there was no compensation. So that's why the government actually came up and said, no, we need to have kind of an insurance cover, that in case a person is hit by a vehicle, or a person dies in an accident, then this insurance cover takes up the risk. Yes.
Well, that's
then that is basically for the third party. But when it comes to the comprehensive now takes another step, that if a vehicle is involved, now the comprehensive looks at the vehicle as well, because the vehicle will be involved and it will be damaged. So if you have a comprehensive cover, then the comprehensive will now look at the vehicle itself, and it will.
How about the owner of the car, or the driver, the person in the car?
The owner of the vehicle certainly is not covered
in
the third party, because the third party is looking at the other person.
In third party, we moved on to comprehensive.
For the comprehensive, it depends on the kind, because the comprehensive, as you hear the name, is comprehensive. You may want to cover the person in the drive as well. But that will now need you to pay a certain amount of money. But certainly, if you take up a comprehensive, even the driver can be catered for. Yeah.
Under what circumstances? There are particular circumstances that allow the driver or the occupant of the vehicle to also be...
Yes, there is an extension on the comprehensive cover that is called personal accident. So that personal accident cover can be incorporated in the comprehensive, so that in case a person who's driving or a person who you're related to, who is not regarded as a third party, is involved in an accident, is paid a certain sum of money. And with that extension, then it will cater for the other person using the vehicle.
Let's break the sophistication a little bit down for the person to understand, because majority of our road users are known to very conversant to the terminologies that we use here. We have border cyclists, we have taxi drivers who use the roads and are mandated to have third-party insurance. Perhaps you can even change the language for their better understanding.
Okay. A
border is supposed to have third-party insurance. Or is there any other insurance that they're supposed to have before going on the road? Yeah,
basically, all motorists, including motorcycles, including, I believe, borders are the motorcycles. They're supposed, before they go on the road, they're supposed to have insurance, which is it's mandatory that they're supposed to have third party. Third party is mandatory. Before you drive your car, you put it on the road, you need to have this cover. But predominantly, we would want it to be upgraded to a comprehensive cover, because a comprehensive cover is kind of like an all risks cover, that in case you knock somebody, it will cater for the person you've knocked in terms of third party. In case the motorcycle or the vehicle is also damaged, the cost will be picked. So a comprehensive cover would predominantly be a good cover. But for the start, each person on the road who possesses a motorcycle or a vehicle should at least have a minimum of a third-party cover.
Very true.
Yes.
Well, as we come to a conclusion, I would want to understand from the insurance perspective, how has the pandemic affected you, but how have you so stretched your hand in relief, in terms of relief to the people that have been impacted by the pandemic?
Okay. Well, that's a very good question. Like any other sector, the insurance sector has also been affected by the coming in of the pandemic, because as you know, we are all caught unaware. And looking at the figures, we may see a decline in the premiums that are being underwritten by these insurance companies. Basically because at this point, insurance is not regarded as a priority. And talking about the negativity, yes, it has impacted negatively to the insurance sector, but we are happy that COVID has actually helped us.
Do you have figures, or perhaps a percentage, in an estimation figure that can indicate how much the impact is?
Apparently, we don't have the figures, because we are still in the early stages. But we believe because we work with the financial year. So we are still in this. We've started the first. We are still in this first quarter. So we believe that we can make a comparison in terms of figures when we have gotten all the quarters, maybe the first, second, and third. But I was talking about the negativity. Yes, the pandemic has negatively impacted on the industry, but we want to appreciate that it has also given us. It is kind of like an eye opener for the positive side, that. We are able to be innovative, because we've come up with a new platform, a payment platform, that now you can sit in your sitting room and pay insurance. So this is kind of a situation that is positive in nature, although it has come out of a negative event. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kadu Mukasa.
You're welcome.
Stephen, for speaking to the viewers of
You're welcome.
On Select Business, which was a very huge pleasure having you today in the studio. Well,
welcome.
Our conversation on insurance does come to a conclusion, and we shall right away be going into our financial updates as we come to a conclusion of Select Business of the first show segment. Well, what we're basically going to be looking at is the forex rate and perhaps precisely we shall look at, of course, inflation remains constant, and we shall look a little bit at the stock market. But what we have on the chart right there is exchange rates. The currencies now, I'll start with the dollar, the most prominent currency, which is being bought at 3,693.17 and selling at 3,703.17, and the United Kingdom pound is being bought at 4,791.34 and sold at 4,804.32, and the euro is bought at 4,354.63 and sold at 4,366.43. And the Kenyan shilling, just our neighbors in the east, is being bought at 34.02 and sold at 34.11. The Tanzanian shilling is at 1.59 and sold at 1.59. And I'll conclude with the bottom of the continent, that's the rand from South Africa, which is bought at 224.25 and sold at 224.84. Well, those were our exchange rates, and you'll allow me come to a conclusion of Select Business this particular morning. Thank you for being a committed viewer. My name is Elijah. Today, and keep it STV.